All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and kick things off with the Stallions. We're going to start with Scooby Wright, two-time defending back-to-back champion, before we get Coach and Dion Kane and Alex Magoo in here, who are actually delivering the trophy over to the Hall of Fame right now. So I figured I'd bring Scooby in here, let him get a chance to talk to you, and talk about how it feels. So, Scoob, why don't you go ahead and just kind of kick things off and just tell how you're feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird feeling. You mean, it's almost like expected because we did it last year, you know. I mean, things aren't as sweet as they are the first time, but the next one's always just as important. So it's kind of funny. Me and Willie Yarbary were talking in the locker room. I was like, yeah, it doesn't feel like the same as it did last year. Well, that's because we expected it this year. And we're going to go out there and try to do it again next year. So.
Good question.
Scoop, where's the point?
It's they're all poured out on the field. I had two in my hands, and I was getting my fireman on.
Scoop, congrats on the win on the USFL Championship. You guys have been battling through injuries, roster movements, and all that. But just how special is it to go back-to-back tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about those injuries. I mean, this is probably the coolest year of football I've ever had because there's so many different guys that had to step up and play, especially in the linebacker room. I mean, we had Quentin Poling, Nate Hawley, Brody Buck. I mean, all those guys played their butts off, and just the totally dynamic of the team. Team chemistry. It was the first couple of weeks a little different, whatever, but we figured it out and we got going.
Scoop, did you see anything different on the Maulers offensively compared to the last time you played them?
No, their playbook is very, very simple and very vanilla. They didn't really run too many things. We were worried about their outside zones on when they go empty, but that was pretty much the only thing we knew we were worried about in practice the last couple of weeks.
Zach?
Zach Common, USFL Newsroom. Scoob, start of the fourth quarter, you guys are put in a comprehensive position on their own 33-yard line after a very different tragic events with a fumble. How do you guys respond? What was the message in that defensive huddle going on the field, knowing it's still a one-possession game at that point?
Yeah, just don't flinch. I mean, that's been our motto all year is don't flinch and don't be afraid and don't bend but don't break. I mean, that's kind of been our motto of our defense a little bit. We weren't the best statistically, but when we got down in that red zone, we were hard to beat.
So we also have Willie Yarbary, defensive star of the game. Come on up, sit here with his.
I came in here in my cowboy boots.
Willie, how you feeling today? Why don't you go ahead and let everybody know how it feels?
I'm feeling amazing. Winning back-to-back, that's not hard. A lot of teams can't accomplish those things, and for us to be able to come out here and do that again, it just talks a lot about our character, our culture, and just having amazing coaches and players that came and returned back. Guys like Scooby, I'm glad that we were able to play again. So I'm just so happy right now.
You guys defensively, I mean, you played a great game, no touchdowns allowed, even a couple of those bend not break situations in the first half. Just what went into that and just making sure they didn't get into the end zone?
I mean, you just don't let them in the end zone. I mean, they don't score, they don't win. I mean, that's pretty much the motto. I mean, that's why we were successful in the red zone. I mean, if you look at it statistically, we were hard to beat in the red zone.
Willie, captain of Wake Forest, yeah?
Yes.
Captain of defense Arizona, yeah?
Something like that.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you both. What makes Alex Magoo different?
He's a wild man. He has fun. He goes out there and he plays his balls off. I mean,
That doesn't usually work for a quarterback.
Yeah, but with him it does. It's great to watch. It's great to see, and I'm glad he's on our team. I wouldn't want to be chasing him around in the field.
We call him the Magic Man. I don't know how you do it, but he get it done, and so it's exciting to watch. I like watching it. I know I wouldn't want to play against it, so I'm just happy he's on our side.
Good. Willie, you fell on that fumble that pretty much sealed the game. What was the first
Man, you seen I tried to pick it up, actually. My hands were a little slippery, a little sweaty. I wanted to scoop and score. Hopefully I would have got more than 10 yards, but the first thing I was thinking just get off the field because the first half of the game, we were on the field maybe 20 minutes. That's a long time. I was tired.
The first series.
Yeah, that first series was bad. It was brutal. But my whole thing was just to get off the field, get the offense the ball back, and so they can steal the game.
There's a lot of talk all week about the Maulers defense, but y'all are a pretty good defense too. Obviously, the goal was to win the game, but did you feel like you had a little bit of a chip on your shoulder at all with that narrative?
Why don't you start this one off?
I don't think it's things like that. Like obviously, we had to prove something today, and it showed up. But at the end of the day, we've been here before, so we consistently play like that. We don't do a lot of talking. We just play.
Yeah. I mean, we just show up and we roll the ball out in the field and get after it. I mean, there's really not too much to. We're a pretty easy group. We just play hard and do what we're coached to do.
Daryl said during the press conference yesterday that he thought that it was going to be their offense versus the Stallions' defense. That was going to be the key matchup. And it kind of looks like that's the way it kind of played itself out. So are you kind of surprised that you were able to hold them to that few points?
I mean, we knew that their defense was good, but we're a good defense too, and our offense plays against it every single day, so is what it is.
I feel like the second half of the season we started rolling, we started clicking and playing a lot better. So at the end of the day, if we line up and do our jobs, we wasn't worried about anything, and it proved today.
In the playoffs, you guys really ramped it up. Last week you held the Breakers to 7 points through 3 quarters. They picked up some points late in the game, and then that carried over into tonight. Was there a switch that flipped when it became playoff time with you guys? Because you played lights out in comparison to, say, your 10 previous games.
I think that just goes back to leaning on our experiences and leaning on we've been here before, we know what to expect, we know what to do. So, I mean, for me personally, I know that was the message in our linebacker room was we've been here before, don't flinch.
I think more so for me, we always have a 1-0 mindset, but during the playoffs, you don't got no redos. So it's now go home, and so I wasn't trying to go home early, so I know they weren't. So we had to win.
Now you go home as a champ.
Exactly.
Two-time,
back to back. What they said, worst to worst.
And worst to best.
Oh,
Who
okay.
cares? I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
All right. Is there any other questions in here?
Well, you would predict a three-peat.
Hey, 1-0, baby.
Yep, 1-0. Yep.
Boom, gotcha.
All right, we'll leave it with that. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that very much.
Tried to do it for you. You tried it.